In a bustling little town lived a cat named Oliver. Oliver wasn't your average cat. He had a refined palate and a particular weakness for human food, his absolute favorite. The crispy, spicy samosas from Mr. Sharma's corner shop. One sunny afternoon, the craving hit him hard. Oliver pushed the door open just enough to slip inside, his movements silent and graceful. He sat patiently by the counter, putting on his most charming and innocent expression, a look that usually earned him a tasty scrap or two. The mouse nibbled on a fallen grain, completely unaware of the feline predator watching its every move. Oliver's instincts, honed over generations, kicked in instantly. The thought of samosas vanished, replaced by the primal urge to hunt. He crouched low, his body tensing like a coiled spring. The world seemed to slow down. The chatter of customers faded. The clatter of pans disappeared. There was only him and the mouse. With a burst of speed, he pounced. He landed precisely where the mouse had been just a second ago, but the little creature was quick. It darted away with a squeak, disappearing behind a large sack of potatoes. Oliver, now fully in hunter mode, crept towards the sacks. He sniffed the air, his sharp senses pinpointing the mouse's hiding spot. He nudged the heavy sack with his head, expecting the mouse to bolt out the other side, but what he saw made him freeze. It wasn't just one mouse. Peeking out from behind the sack were a dozen pairs of tiny black eyes. An entire family of mice, big and small, huddled together, trembling. A wave of confusion washed over Oliver. This wasn't a simple hunt anymore. This was an infestation. His predator brain screamed jackpot. But another part of him, the part that loved this town and Mr. Sharma's delicious samosas, felt a sense of responsibility. These mice weren't just a snack, they were a threat to his favorite food source. If Mr. Sharma discovered them, he might have to close the shop for cleaning, and that meant no more samosas for Oliver. He couldn't possibly catch them all himself. It was a strategic nightmare. If he pounced, they would scatter in every direction. He needed a plan, something clever. He backed away slowly, his mind racing. He couldn't let Mr. Sharma know, but he couldn't let the mice stay either. What was a samosa-loving cat to do? An idea, as brilliant as it was unexpected, sparked in his mind. He didn't have to be the villain. He could be the hero. He could solve this problem in a way that benefited everyone, including himself. He turned and trotted out of the shop, leaving the mice to their temporary safety. He had a mission. His first stop was the alleyway behind the old bookstore. This was the territory of Bruno, a large, gruff stray dog with a heart of gold. Bruno was known for his ability to find anything and for his surprising gentleness with smaller creatures. Oliver found him snoozing in a patch of sunlight. "Bruno," Oliver meowed, his tone serious. Bruno opened one eye. "I need your help. It's a matter of utmost importance. It involves food security." Intrigued, Bruno sat up. Oliver explained the situation at the Samosa shop, the family of mice, the risk to the samosa supply, and his brilliant plan. Bruno, who had often enjoyed leftovers from Mr. Sharma's himself, listened intently, nodding his big head. He agreed to help. The plan was simple. They would need to orchestrate a mass, peaceful eviction. Next, Oliver sought out Penelope, a wise old owl who lived in the belfry of the town clock. Penelope knew every nook and cranny of the town and could see things from a perspective others couldn't. Oliver and Bruno explained their dilemma. Penelope hooted thoughtfully. "There is an old, abandoned barn on the edge of town," she said, her voice a low whisper. "A perfect new home for a growing family of mice." The final piece of the puzzle was communication. How could they convince the mice to leave? For this, Oliver recruited a team of sparrows. They were fast, nimble, and could spread a message quickly. Oliver, using a series of chirps and meows he'd picked up over the years, explained the plan to the lead sparrow, Pip. The sparrows were to fly to the mice and tell them of the wonderful new home that awaited them, a paradise of grain, with no cats or shopkeepers to bother them. The plan was set. That night, under the silvery glow of the moon, Operation Mouse Migration began. Bruno stood guard, making sure no other predators interfered. The sparrows flew ahead, delivering their message of a better life. Inside the shop, Oliver approached the potato sacks. He didn't pounce. Instead, he made a soft, chirping sound, a sound of peace, not aggression. The mice, who had already heard the sparrow's news, peeked out cautiously. They saw the cat, but he wasn't a threat. He was their escort, led by the brave little mouse Oliver had first tried to catch. The family emerged. Oliver led them out the back door and into the alley where Bruno was waiting. The mice were initially terrified of the big dog, but Bruno simply lay down, showing he meant no harm. Following Oliver, the long procession of mice scurried through the quiet streets, a tiny river of fur flowing through the town. Penelope swooped low, calling out directions, ensuring no mouse got left behind. They traveled through moonlit gardens and across silent roads until they reached the edge of town. There, just as Penelope had described, stood the old, dilapidated barn. The air was sweet with the smell of hay and old wood. The mice hesitated at the entrance. Then, encouraged by a gentle nudge from Oliver, they scurried inside. They found a haven. Piles of spilled grain, cozy corners filled with soft hay was everything they could have dreamed of. The mission was a success, but the mice had a safe new home, and Mr. Sharma's shop was secure. Oliver, Bruno, and Penelope looked on, a strange but effective team of heroes. They had saved the day, or rather, the samosas. The next afternoon, Oliver trotted back to the corner shop. The air was clean, the flour sacks were undisturbed, and Mr. Sharma was humming a happy tune. He saw Oliver and smiled. "Ah, my little friend. You look like you've been on an adventure." He broke off a piece of a warm, fresh samosa and placed it on a napkin for Oliver. As Oliver savored the delicious bite, the perfect blend of spice and potato, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. It tasted even better than usual. It was the taste of a job well done, of a problem solved with brains instead of brawn. He had protected his favorite treat and, in the process, had become the unlikely, unsung hero of the town. And as he licked his whiskers clean, he knew that no matter what challenges came his way, a clever cat could always find a solution, especially when samosas were on the line. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.